Most people think success comes from motivation, from feeling ready, from waiting for the right mood. But what if that belief is exactly what's keeping you stuck? The truth is harsh, but it's liberating. Motivation is a liar. It shows up when it wants. And the people who build real wealth, real purpose, real transformation, they don't wait for motivation. They force themselves to be consistent, even when everything inside screams, "Not today." That's the real game changer. Because here's the truth. Consistency is boring, but it's the most powerful force you'll ever master. When you show up day after day, regardless of how you feel, you begin to rewire your brain for action, not excuse. You stop negotiating with fear. You stop waiting for perfect timing. And as strange as it sounds, that's self-imposed discipline. It leads to the deepest kind of freedom. Freedom to act. Freedom to create. Freedom to win. In this video, you'll learn why Napoleon Hill's greatest lesson wasn't about goals or riches, but about rhythm. A rhythm built through daily action, no matter what. We'll break down how consistency rebuilds your identity, attracts opportunity, and makes success inevitable. You'll walk away with a 30-day plan, practical strategies, and formulas you can apply today. But first, you need to drop the lie that change happens when you feel ready. Because readiness is built, not found. Let's begin. The psychological basis of consistency. There's a reason why the most successful people in the world don't rely on motivation. They rely on consistency. Napoleon Hill was crystal clear about this. Results don't come from bursts of energy. They come from repeated action. When you force yourself to be consistent, even on days when you feel off, you're training your brain to show up no matter what. This repetition strengthens neural circuits and eventually automates success. It's how a disciplined mindset becomes second nature, by treating consistency not as a suggestion, but as a law. That's how new money mindset habits are born. You don't just decide to change, you rehearse change, one small action at a time. Imagine doing 5 minutes of reading every day. It seems small, but your brain starts to say, "Hey, we're someone who follows through." That identity shift is where power lives. That's why sayings like, "small hinges swing big doors," are more than metaphors. They're tools. With each repeated action, your brain builds a track that makes the next step easier. This is the wealth mindset and action discipline that compounds. And here's the real kicker. Consistency creates identity faster than inspiration ever could. The moment you act without waiting to feel ready, you're declaring to your subconscious that you're someone who takes action regardless. That declaration builds confidence. That confidence attracts opportunity. And soon enough, the world starts responding to the version of you that Napoleon Hill motivation calls the definite of purpose self. This is the start of the motivational speech that plays inside your head daily. But it doesn't stop here. Let's look at how this shows up in everyday life. Let's make it real. Imagine waking up and committing to just 5 minutes of reading something that expands your mindset, whether it's Think and Grow Rich, a journal entry, or a prayer. That's not a routine, it's a ritual. One that slowly rewires your self-image. This kind of micro-discipline creates massive identity upgrades. You begin to embody consistency, and what once felt hard becomes automatic. That's the secret behind Napoleon Hill motivation's small daily wins that stack into unstoppable momentum. The same principle applies to learning. Let's say you're trying to grow your business or break into a new field. Try this. Commit to learning one new thing every single day. Even if it's just a word in another language or a 3-minute podcast clip. You're not just learning, you're reminding your brain that you're evolving. This is spiritual growth in motion. You're proving that you're worth investing in. And every day you repeat that decision, you're reinforcing your success mindset without needing outside approval. And when it comes to creativity, stop overthinking it. Write 100 words per day, no matter what. Don't edit, don't judge. Just get it out. This habit alone has helped authors finish books, entrepreneurs build brands, and dreamers turn plans into motion. You're not waiting for inspiration, you're creating space for it to arrive. That's the core of a motivational video life. You live in a way that's worth recording, because your actions inspire even when no one's watching. And this habit-driven consistency is just the beginning. Next, we're diving into the 3 phases that make consistency stick for good. 3 stages of forced consistency. Every transformation begins with a single move, and that's where the deliberate start comes in. Don't aim for an hour. Aim for 5 minutes. That's it. A 5-minute walk, 5 minutes of journaling, 5 minutes of silence. This removes the drama and resistance. The point isn't perfection, it's movement. When you keep that promise to yourself, you're not just building a habit, you're building integrity. That's the foundation of any true success mindset. Then comes the macro reinforcement phase. Here, your job is to track progress visually. Use a checklist, calendar, or digital tracker. Why? Because seeing proof that you're showing up builds emotional currency. It feeds your belief system. You begin to associate consistency with identity, and each checkmark becomes a symbol of victory, one that says, I did it again. This visual progress reinforces the wealth mindset because it reminds you that effort is compounding value. Finally, you enter the identity phase. This is where the real power kicks in. You stop saying, I'm trying to be consistent, and start saying, I am consistent. That shift may sound small, but it's massive. When your language changes, your behavior follows. You don't need brute willpower, you just act in alignment with who you believe you are. And that's when Napoleon Hill motivation becomes more than a quote, it becomes your operating system. Now that you know the 3 phases, it's time to discover the exact formulas that make consistency stick mathematically. Topico 4. Formulas para fixar a consistencia. Consistency isn't magic, it's math. And once you see the formula, you'll stop negotiating with your goals. Here it is. Habit equals frequency times commitment. It means showing up often and showing up with heart. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. When you repeat small actions with full intention, the habit forms faster and stronger. That's how a real mindset shift takes root, by anchoring new behavior with daily repetition and emotional investment. Another powerful equation is this: motivation equals motivation J plus action J. Translation: motivation grows from movement. Most people wait to feel inspired before acting, but the truth is, the moment you act, your brain releases dopamine. That chemical reward becomes fuel for the next action. One push leads to another. That's the foundation of the abundance mindset. You're not running on hype, you're running on momentum, one task at a time. And here's the beauty of it. Once these formulas are applied, they become your inner compass. You don't have to wonder, am I making progress? You'll know, because you'll be following a path that naturally leads forward. That's how the money mindset gets installed, not through huge wins, but through consistent action that multiplies belief. And to help you live this out, I've got a simple yet powerful 30-day plan that will lock this in. Let's stop overcomplicating things. Big change begins with one small, consistent act, and that's exactly what this 30-day challenge is about. Choose one mini habit. Just one. Meditation, reading, stretching, journaling, 5 minutes. Every day. No skipping, no overthinking. This isn't about results, it's about rhythm. You're training your brain that showing up is non-negotiable. That's how the foundation of a strong success mindset is laid, through simplicity and daily proof. Set an alarm. Tie it to something you already do, like brushing your teeth or making coffee, and track it. Use a notebook, habit app, or simple calendar. This visual log becomes your motivational mirror. Each day you check that box, you're saying, I'm becoming who I said I would be. That's Napoleon Hill motivation in practice. Not just dreaming big, but acting small until it becomes big. 5 minutes can rewrite your story if you let it. Now here's the trick most people miss: evaluate weekly. Don't just do the habit, reflect on it. What helped you stay on track? What got in the way? Did your environment support you or distract you? If you missed a day, don't judge, adjust. Change the time, the trigger, or the space. That's real mindset coaching, not perfection, but progress. Keep this up for 30 days and you'll notice something subtle. Everything else in your life starts moving too. Let's talk about why that happens next. Here's the truth most people never realize. Once you become consistent, the world begins to respond differently to you. Not because life magically changes, but because you do. Momentum builds. 5 minutes of action push the next 5. And before you know it, the ball is rolling downhill. That's the power of force yourself to be consistent. It's not about forcing outcomes. It's about creating forward energy that compounds. That's how the wealth mindset is built, by letting the small wins do the heavy lifting. Consistency also creates something priceless: inner trust. Every time you show up, especially when you don't feel like it, you're casting a vote for a new identity. Your subconscious starts to believe, I'm someone who follows through. That belief changes everything. You stop needing validation. You stop seeking external permission. That's spiritual growth at its core. Choosing faith in yourself, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. And once that trust is in place, opportunity comes looking for you. People are drawn to consistency. It signals reliability, direction, focus. When you're consistent, clients notice. Partners notice. The right people want to walk with you. It's no coincidence that success stories often start right after someone finally commits to daily action. The results don't appear by chance. They're pulled into your orbit by energy you've been building. This is what every great motivational speech and motivational video is really about: cause and effect in motion. But let's go deeper and map out exactly how that internal force becomes visible growth. Imagine this: one small action leads to consistency. Consistency leads to achievement. Achievement breeds confidence. Confidence invites bigger challenges, and those challenges lead to even greater results. That's the spiral. That's growth in motion. This is how force yourself to be consistent transforms from pain into power. It's not linear, it's exponential. And the key that unlocks it? Showing up, especially when you least feel like it. This is the Napoleon Hill motivation loop working behind the scenes of your everyday effort. Let's make it visual. You force yourself gives you show up daily, gives you get results, gives you trust yourself more, gives you take bigger risks, gives you attract better outcomes. That's not just mindset. That's wealth mindset, abundance mindset, and emotional intelligence all rolled into one. You no longer panic when life tests you. You respond with strength. Because now you've got evidence of your ability to overcome. You've built that inner library of wins that no one can take from you. And from this place of personal power, everything becomes easier. You speak more clearly. You lead with presence. You create with conviction. That's what makes the world respond to you differently. Not because you're louder, but because you're aligned. That's the secret Napoleon Hill pointed to when he said success comes to those who are ready. And readiness? It's just another word for consistency. Now let's tie all ISO together and show you how forcing yourself today leads to true freedom tomorrow. So now the question is no longer if you'll succeed. The question is, will you be consistent enough to let it happen? You've seen the formulas. You've felt the power. You know what 5 minutes a day can do when multiplied over time. But knowing isn't enough. The only thing standing between your current life and the life you want is the version of you that shows up anyway. Even tired, even unsure, even unmotivated. So what mini habit are you going to start today? Will you journal for 5 minutes? Walk around the block? Read one page of a book that challenges you? Drop it in the comments and make it public. Let this be the day you stop hiding from your potential. And if you miss a day, don't quit. Adjust, reflect, reset. Because Napoleon Hill motivation doesn't demand perfection. It demands progress. And progress is built through presence. If this video lit a fire in you, don't let it fade. Subscribe now, hit the bell. Each week, we dive deeper into the mindset, habits, and inner systems that lead to unstoppable growth. This isn't surface-level motivation, it's a success system. One you're now part of. And if you're really serious about transforming your identity, you know what to do. Force yourself to be consistent. Until it's no longer forced. So now the question isn't if your life can change, it's whether you'll dare to be consistent long enough to let it happen. You've seen the strategy, you've felt the shift. But now it's time to apply it, because nothing transforms until something moves. And if you're serious about that transformation, here's your challenge. Pick one mini habit, just one. Reading, breathing, writing, 5 minutes a day. No excuses, no resets. Just repetition. Here's the full 30-day consistency plan. Step 1. Choose a habit that takes less than 5 minutes. Meditation, gratitude journaling, reading 1 page. Step 2. Set a daily alarm and tie the habit to an existing routine like brushing your teeth or making coffee. Step 3. Use a calendar or notebook to track each day with a simple. That visual momentum rewires your brain. Step 4. Reflect every 7 days. What's working? What's not? Adjust your timing, environment, or trigger if needed. Step 5. Do not add new habits until this one is locked in for 30 days. Discipline compounds when it's focused. Now I want to hear from you. What's the mini habit you're committing to? Drop it in the comments and declare your intention. There's power in making it public. Don't wait for the perfect day. This is your day. This is the moment where you stop thinking about change and start living it. And if this message hit home, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Every week, I'll be here with new content on Napoleon Hill's teachings, wealth mindset, spiritual growth, and the mental disciplines that change lives. But remember, subscribing is easy, showing up is rare. Be the rare one. Force yourself to be consistent. Until it's no longer forced.